Before we cross into the unknown, leave a hello in the comments. Even the smallest signal can ripple across galaxies, guiding fellow wanderers to this tale. Let me know you're out there. A voice among the stars, listening with me beyond the veil. Engines roared as the fleet detached from the hidden slipstream, their hulls gleaming beneath the shattered sun. I, Admiral Kael Vey, watched Earth's scarred surface swell beneath us. Once abandoned, once mocked as defenseless. Betrayal had cost us centuries. Allies turned predators. Treaties dissolved in silence. My heart clenched as I gave the order. Every vessel, every soldier carried the weight of humanity's memory, each pulse of our engines echoing vengeance. Today, Earth would no longer kneel. Orbiting the homeworld we'd lost, the horizon glimmered with rebuilt cities fortified beneath magnetic shields. I traced the scars, the deserts where oceans once kissed the land, the craters of forgotten wars, and felt pride harden alongside sorrow. Humanity's war fleet, the largest in the galaxy, now encircled this planet, a ring of iron and promise. My voice carried over comms, calm yet cold. No betrayal will touch us again. This world is ours to defend and to avenge. Recon drones streamed images of the silent satellites drifting like ghosts in geosynchronous orbits. Captain Rin's voice cut through the bridge's hum. "Admiral, sensors detect a cloaked vessel approaching from the Alpha Quadrant." My pulse quickened. Betrayal often came unseen. The fleet shifted, forming a protective lattice. Memories of the years Earth lay defenseless flickered in my mind. Humanity's vengeance demanded precision, not panic. Every tactical display flickered, outlining enemy maneuvers, the holographic warboard reflecting fear and fury in equal measure. I leaned forward, fingers brushing the console. "Prepare interceptors, shields at 70%. I want no surprise that steals our home again." Rin nodded, eyes sharp, tracing vectors with her gloved hands. Outside, the cloaked intruder pulsed into view, an alien signature humanity had fought and lost to before. The fleet's engines hissed in synchronization, a symphony of metallic wrath ready to protect the cradle of humankind. Even the void seemed to tense as if sensing the storm we were about to unleash. Weapons flared in orbit, the first strike echoing like thunder across the stars. I barked commands, each syllable precise, each pause heavy with consequence. The intruder's energy shields shimmered, deflecting our initial salvo. "They're adaptive," muttered Lieutenant Core. My mind raced, recalling the betrayals that had left us vulnerable centuries ago. Humanity would not make that mistake again. I charted new trajectories, micro-adjusting the fleet's formation with the cold calculation of a vengeful god. Explosions rippled across the void, the hulls of enemy craft twisting as our torpedoes found their marks. Still, the intruder advanced, relentless. Pride and grief entwined as I watched Earth's oceans glimmer faintly below, untouchable yet haunting. The bridge hummed with tension. Crew whispered prayers to gods long dead. I raised my voice, steady and iron. "Hold your positions. Earth watches, and we will not falter. Humanity's vengeance begins in the silence we leave behind." Sensors flickered, revealing encrypted transmissions hidden in the debris. "Admiral," said Ensign Tall, voice tight, "they've been in contact with someone inside the fleet." My stomach clenched. Ghosts of betrayal never die. They linger in the metal and code. I ran a diagnostic, scanning every channel, every encrypted port. My hand hovered over the tactical override, a silent question forming. Had humanity's vengeance already been compromised before it began? Rin's hand landed on my shoulder. "We trust no one," she said softly. The fleet shifted silently, engines humming like restrained storms. I considered the weight of centuries lost, friends turned foes, planets fallen because trust was blind. With deliberate precision, I initiated a lockdown of all external communications. If someone inside betrayed us, they would find no leverage. Pride burned, iron sharp, and beneath it, sorrow whispered. Vengeance is only righteous when it is earned, not given. Earth's atmosphere flared with orbital bombardments, a spectacle of fire and plasma. The alien fleet, determined yet naive, underestimated the fortifications we had forged in secret. From my observation deck, I felt the planet's pulse. Our home, scarred yet alive, waiting for humanity's wrath to shield her. "Deploy orbital mines," I commanded. The hum of preparation resonated across the fleet. This was no mere battle. It was the reclamation of history. As explosions lit the void like distant suns, I spoke into the calm. Every world that doubted us, every hand that turned against humanity, remember this day. Remember the fleet that rose from ashes, shields strong, engines roaring, hearts resolute. Pride, sorrow, vengeance, they were inseparable. Earth was no longer defenseless. She would be the seat of our wrath, the monument to the promise that betrayal would never find purchase again. The siege had begun, and the galaxy would witness the birth of a legend. The alien fleet faltered as our orbital mines detonated in perfect synchronization. In tandem, a ballet of metal and fire. Captain Rin reported anomalies in enemy navigation. They struggled against the gravitational pulse fields we had secretly installed. My fingers traced constellations of tactical data, calculating the next strike. Humanity had learned the cost of trust, the price of hesitation. I felt the cold edge of satisfaction. Every misstep they made was proof of our patience and precision. I tapped the bridge console, initiating an automated drone swarm to shadow the enemy. Each unit transmitted real-time analytics, predicting movements before the aliens even considered them. Below, Earth's surface shimmered with electromagnetic shields, invisible yet unyielding. Pride and sorrow interlaced as I observed the first sparks of their retreat. The fleet responded flawlessly. No hesitation, no error. Betrayal would not touch us here, not while I drew the patterns of vengeance across the stars. Ghost transmissions from abandoned colonies drifted into our sensors. "Admiral," Lieutenant Kor said, voice tense, "they're broadcasting distress codes from decades ago." The echoes of lost civilizations clawed at me. Humanity's enemies had underestimated our memory. Each signal was a fragment of the past, a reminder of friends who had fallen and of promises broken. Across the fleet as we moved to intercept, scanning, decoding, cataloging, every ghost a step toward justice. I leaned against the observation deck rail, watching distant warships twist in response to our maneuvers. The signals revealed patterns of enemy coordination, secret alliances, and hidden weaknesses. Pride flared, cold and sharp, as I realized Earth's vengeance was more than retaliation. It was reclamation. We remembered, we learned, we adapted, and the galaxy would remember humanity's fury. I muttered a vow, half to myself. We will not fall to ghosts again. Not now, not ever. Explosions ignited the void like firestorms in miniature. The alien fleet had regrouped, determined to breach Earth's orbital defenses. I stood on the bridge, hands steady on the console. "Target their flagship," I ordered. Torpedoes carved streaks through darkness, plasma flaring in violent arcs. Sensors screamed warnings, but the fleet moved with flawless choreography. Humanity had turned grief into strategy, loss into lethal precision. Every ship carried the weight of centuries of betrayal and the iron promise that none would betray again. The flagship twisted, shielding energy flickering under concentrated fire. Below, Earth shimmered beneath the lattice of defense satellites. Captain Rin whispered, "We've never seen them respond like this before." I allowed a grim smile. It was the price of survival, the cost of learning from history. "Hold formation, push them back to the edge of their own pride," I said. Humanity's vengeance thundered outward, a relentless wave of metal, plasma, and unyielding resolve. Encrypted channels hummed with fragments of intercepted transmissions. "Admiral," Ensign Tall said, voice taut, "it appears there's a hidden fleet within their fleet. Unmarked, unregistered." My jaw tightened. Ghosts of betrayal were not just memories. They were alive, hiding among the enemy. Tactical displays illuminated their positions. I calculated strikes, countermeasures, and traps. Every vector was a lesson in patience, every maneuver a declaration. Earth's vengeance would find all who opposed us. I activated cloaked reconnaissance drones to infiltrate the hidden Armada. The bridge lights dimmed as I watched data streams cascade like waterfalls of code. Pride and sorrow merged. We had been deceived once, centuries ago, but never again. "Lock onto the hidden fleet," I said, voice low and iron. "They will not escape, not today." The fleet adjusted its formation, engines roaring as if echoing the heartbeat of humanity itself, ready to strike with precision born from history's harshest lessons. A piercing alarm split the bridge's hum. "Admiral! A sabotage attempt! Internal systems compromised!" My hand clenched around the console. History's bitter lessons surged back. Betrayal is never truly gone. Crew members froze, eyes wide as automated turrets engaged the infiltrators. Every heartbeat was a battle of nerves. I barked orders, voice slicing through tension. "Seal all sectors. Identify the traitor. No one leaves Earth's vengeance incomplete." The fleet held, engines roaring in defensive unison, the void trembling with anticipation. Rin's eyes met mine, unflinching. "We cannot fail, Kael." I nodded, swallowing the grief. This was the crucible of humanity's return. Fire, steel, and trust tested to its limit. Below, Earth waited, shielded and patient, as we purged the first serpent from our midst. Pride burned alongside sorrow, a reminder that vengeance is not blind. It is deliberate. "History will not repeat itself," I murmured. "Earth will remember loyalty, and betrayal will find no quarter." Carrying the promise through the stars, the sabotage revealed more than fear. It revealed intent. Hidden conduits, corrupted code, and faint traces of alien manipulation crawled through our systems like a living web. "Admiral," Ensign Tall whispered, "they've been inside us longer than we realized." I traced the lines of infection across tactical displays, each corrupted node a scar of betrayal. Across the fleet, as we executed emergency countermeasures, shields pulsing, drones intercepting compromised circuits. Humanity's vengeance required vigilance and unyielding precision. Failure was not an option. I locked my gaze on Earth, a silent witness to our wrath and resilience. Captain Rin's hands danced over the console, purging corrupted data with surgical precision. Pride and sorrow fused as we rebuilt from within, ensuring no ghost of treachery could persist. "No system escapes our scrutiny," I said, voice iron cold. "This planet will never fall to traitors again." In unison, a warning to the galaxy. Humanity's fleet is vigilant, our vengeance precise, our home inviolable. Scanners revealed the hidden Armada emerging from cloaked sectors. Their signature was faint but undeniable. Ghosts of fleets thought destroyed decades ago. I narrowed my eyes, calculating trajectories, velocities, and engagement points. "Deploy interceptors and plasma nets," I commanded. The fleet maneuvered, threading between orbital debris and shielded satellites. Humanity's memory was weaponized. Every movement was the culmination of centuries of loss, study, and tactical evolution. Captain Rin reported visual confirmation. Colossal warships, half destroyed but adaptive, slipped from the shadows. Pride surged. Earth's vengeance would strike not just at the fleet, but at the fear they had sown for centuries. "Prepare the shock cannons," I ordered. The hidden Armada, confident in secrecy, would learn the cost of underestimating humanity. Reflecting in the armor of our warships, each pulse a heartbeat of resolve and iron determination. Engagement erupted like a storm. Torpedoes streaked across the void, lasers carved paths of blazing light, and shields shuddered under concentrated fire. I coordinated every movement with surgical precision, my voice slicing through the chaos. Flank their left quadrant. Force them into the gravity wells. The enemy adapted, but humanity had prepared for every contingency, every potential betrayal, every weakness. Pride burned, sorrow lingered. Every strike was a testament to centuries of endurance. Below, Earth's surface glittered under protective fields, serene yet alive with anticipation. Drones zipped between warships, relaying real-time data, anticipating alien maneuvers before they could act. Captain Rin leaned into the console, eyes alight. They're learning, but too slowly. I allowed a fleeting smile. Humanity's vengeance became a symphony of calculated destruction, relentless, unyielding, and impossible to evade. Today, Earth would witness the reclamation of her skies. An explosion rocked the fleet internally. Alarm klaxons screamed as compromised sections were sealed off. "Admiral, the traitor has been transmitting coordinates to the hidden fleet." My jaw clenched. The betrayal was real, a whisper from the shadows that threatened to undo centuries of planning. I activated counter-intrusion protocols, deploying automated hunters to flush the saboteur from the bowels of the flagship. As if echoing my fury, Rin's eyes met mine, fierce and unyielding. "We will find them." Pride and sorrow intertwined as we traced the traitor's signals, watching every lie unravel. Earth waited silently beneath our fury, impervious yet vigilant. "No hand will undo what humanity has fought to reclaim," I said. "The cost of betrayal will be absolute." In unison, a chorus of wrath and resolution that reverberated across the stars. The hidden Armada, now fully revealed, pressed its assault. Shields flared, plasma tore through space, and the fleet responded with coordinated fury. Every torpedo, every laser volley, every shield modulation was a testament to human ingenuity and memory. I directed movements with the precision of a conductor, orchestrating a symphony of destruction. Pride and sorrow intertwined. Victory demanded both discipline and sacrifice. Humanity's vengeance thundered across the void. Earth's surface shimmered under the defensive lattice, untouchable yet witnessing the war above. Captain Rin's voice cut through the din. "They can't break us, Admiral." I nodded, hand steady on the command console. Let them try. Let them remember why humanity never kneels. The fleet surged forward, engines roaring in unison, carving paths of fire through the hidden Armada. Today, history would remember. Earth is shielded, humanity is relentless, and betrayal will never find purchase again. The hidden Armada faltered under coordinated barrages, as torpedoes and plasma waves carved deadly paths through alien hulls. I barked orders, each movement precise, every maneuver a reflection of centuries of betrayal survived and lessons learned. "Hold nothing back," I commanded. Pride burned as ships twisted and surged, shields flaring, engines thrumming with disciplined fury. Below, Earth shimmered, her cities safe behind layers of magnetic and plasma shielding, waiting for our vengeance to complete its first chapter. Captain Rin's voice cut through the tactical calm yet fierce. "They're retreating, but they've adapted to our grids." I studied the holographic displays, tracing vectors, anticipating every move. Sorrow lingered, sharp as metal. Victory came with cost. Yet humanity's promise remained unbroken. "Deploy pursuit drones. Leave no escape," I ordered. Across the void as the fleet tightened its noose, a testament to humanity's vengeance and the unyielding will to protect our reclaimed homeworld. Encrypted transmissions revealed strategic feints we had not anticipated. The enemy was cunning, a serpent weaving through space and code. "Admiral," Ensign Tal warned, "they're baiting us into the outer sectors, toward their hidden mines." My jaw tightened. Betrayal and foresight were intertwined, a dance of death and deception. I adjusted our formation, bending every ship's trajectory like a chess master anticipating decades of history in a single move. Captain Rin's hands flew over the control panels. We'll counter their feints, turn their traps into their undoing. Pride and sorrow are intertwined in every decision. The outer sectors shimmered with deadly electromagnetic fields, each mine a potential ruin. But humanity had learned from centuries of betrayal. We would not stumble again. Advance carefully. Draw them out, but never falter, I said. The fleet pivoted with precision, every movement a calculated act of vengeance. The alien fleet's desperation became palpable. In chaotic bursts as they attempted to breach our orbital defenses, I gritted my teeth, calculating trajectories for every incoming strike. Shields at maximum. Interceptors on full deployment, I ordered. Each explosion lit the void like a miniature sun. Pride and sorrow fused as we fought not just for victory, but to ensure Earth's survival. Betrayal would not undo centuries of preparation. Captain Rin's eyes gleamed as plasma flares reflected across the bridge. Their flagship is exposed, she reported. I traced the vector, heart steady. Focus fire, end their advance before they harm Earth. Missiles streaking through space in lethal arcs. Below, Earth shimmered behind impenetrable shields. Humanity's vengeance was not just retaliation. It was reclamation, survival, and promise. We would not falter. Betrayal had shaped us, but it would never break us again. The enemy flagship erupted in a cascade of fire. Across the fleet, as the alien formation faltered. I leaned into the command console, every pulse of energy and every shield modulation a calculated strike. Pride surged. Centuries of loss had culminated in this moment. Sorrow lingered beneath the exhilaration. Each victory bore the memory of those who had fallen. Humanity's vengeance was precise, unrelenting, and inevitable. Captain Rin's voice was firm, resolute. They're breaking. The hidden Armada can't regroup. I allowed a brief exhale. Pursue, but maintain formation. We strike only where necessary. In coordinated arcs, drones intercepting fleeing vessels, torpedoes cutting lethal paths. Earth lay beneath us, untouched yet witnessing humanity's wrath. Betrayal was a shadow in memory alone. Today, loyalty, strategy, and vengeance dictated the star's verdict. The battlefield glowed with the remnants of alien fire. We corralled the surviving vessels, their shields failing under concentrated assault. I surveyed the tactical displays, fingers steady on the controls. Pride and sorrow interwove like steel and fire. Centuries of loss had honed humanity into a weapon of justice. Below, Earth pulsed quietly, shielded and patient. Target their command clusters. End the threat, I commanded. Captain Rin's hands flew over the console as missiles struck with surgical precision. Resonating across the void, a chorus of vengeance. Humanity's fleet advanced, a living testament to endurance and strategy. I spoke softly, yet firmly, to the silent planet below. We have returned. Earth is ours. Betrayal will never touch this world again. Pride, sorrow, and iron resolve merged as humanity's vengeance manifested in steel, fire, and the roar of engines that carried the promise of inviolable homeworlds. Encrypted transmissions flickered across the fleet's comms. "Admiral," Ensign Tal said, voice tight. "They're sending false distress signals, attempting to lure us into an ambush." I pivoted the fleet's formation, shielding every vector. Pride burned cold. History had taught humanity that deception is the weapon of the desperate. I traced each transmission, identifying falsities buried beneath layers of code. Every ghost of betrayal from the past sharpened my focus. No signal would catch us unprepared. Captain Rin's hands danced over the console. "We'll counter their decoys, turn their lies against them." Sensors flickered, revealing hidden mines and cloaked vessels waiting to strike. Below, Earth remained shielded and unyielding, a silent observer. Engage only on my mark. No false alarms will dictate our actions, I commanded. The fleet adjusted with precision, each vessel a guardian of vengeance, memory, and the promise that betrayal would never touch our homeworld again. The hidden Armada regrouped, engines roaring as they twisted through the void in desperate maneuvers. I leaned into the command console, plotting trajectories for interceptors and plasma grids. Pride surged. The enemy had underestimated the fleet's adaptability. Sorrow lingered, a shadow over each victory, reminding me of the friends and colonies lost in past betrayals. Form wedge formations. Trap them against our orbital grids, I ordered. The void became a chessboard, each move calculated, lethal, and inexorable. Captain Rin's eyes glimmered with determination. We'll drive them into every trap we've set. Drones zipped ahead, mapping alien movements, predicting evasive maneuvers, propelling humanity's vengeance through the void like a storm of steel and fire. Below, Earth shimmered, untouchable yet alive, as if feeling the fleet's heartbeat. The maelstrom of battle twisted, but humanity's will remained constant, precise, unyielding, and forged by the memory of betrayal that would never repeat. Torpedoes carved arcs of plasma through the void, engines roaring as the enemy flagship quivered under concentrated assault. I barked orders with surgical precision. Lock on all command clusters, strike simultaneously. Pride flared as shield matrices flickered under our attacks. The hidden Armada's cohesion wavered. Sorrow whispered beneath the thrill. Centuries of history demanded perfection, and one mistake could undo our reclamation. Humanity's vengeance needed no hesitation. Captain Rin traced the enemy's faltering vectors, hands steady, voice calm. Their flagship is exposed, she reported. I focused every interceptor, every torpedo, every laser on the vulnerable hull. We converged, cutting off escape routes. Earth's protective lattice glimmered faintly below, indifferent yet vigilant. We strike as one. History remembers our fury, I murmured. Pride, sorrow, and iron resolve intertwined. Humanity's vengeance was precise, unstoppable, and absolute. Explosions tore through the hidden fleet, engines roaring as vessels twisted, shields collapsing under relentless fire. I coordinated each strike, tracing trajectories with the calm intensity of centuries of training. Pride surged with every hull breached. Sorrow lingered in memory of those lost to past betrayals. Humanity had learned from history. No weakness would be tolerated, no trust misplaced. Maintain formation. Pursue them to the edge of the system, I ordered, voice slicing through the chaos. Captain Rin's hands flew over controls, guiding drones through debris fields and plasma storms. Torpedoes and laser volleys cut lethal paths. Earth watched silently beneath the inferno, shielded and patient. They will remember this, Rin murmured. I nodded, eyes fixed on the tactical displays. Betrayal had shaped us, but it would never break us again. Humanity's vengeance manifested in fire, precision, and the relentless roar of engines across the void. The hidden fleet faltered completely, engines roaring in disarray as their command chains collapsed. I surveyed the tactical displays, every pulse of light representing victory and sacrifice. Pride intertwined with sorrow. Centuries of loss and betrayal had forged this moment. Target their last vessels. End this without mercy, I ordered. The void became a theater of calculated destruction, each strike a message. Humanity protects its own, and betrayal will find no sanctuary. Captain Rin's voice was calm but resolute. They're finished. The surviving ships attempted retreat, only to find no paths left unblocked. Earth remained untouched beneath her shields, a silent witness to humanity's vengeance. I whispered to the planet below, pride and sorrow merging in my chest. We have reclaimed you. We have defended you, and betrayal will never find purchase here again. The fleet pulsed in unison, a living monument to iron resolve and unyielding vengeance. Scanners picked up residual signals hidden in the debris, encrypted and alien. "Admiral," Ensign Tal said, voice tight, "they're remnants of a larger network, coordinating from beyond the system." The fleet adjusted, shields flaring in anticipation. Pride burned at the thought. Humanity had survived betrayal before, and history had sharpened our vigilance. Every vector, every trajectory was calculated to counter unseen threats. Sorrow lingered beneath the determination, a reminder that the cost of oversight had been etched into centuries of memory. Captain Rin leaned over the console, tracing the signals. "They're trying to rebuild, to strike again." I narrowed my eyes. "We'll cut every line, dismantle every network. No shadow will remain." Drones swarm into the void to purge hidden satellites and transmitters. Earth pulsed quietly beneath the shields, resilient and patient. Humanity's vengeance was not blind. It was deliberate, precise, and absolute. Betrayal had once shattered us. Now it would find only fire and steel. Long-range sensors detected anomalies. Small, stealthy vessels weaving between debris fields. "Admiral, they're lurking, attacking only when least expected," reported Lieutenant Kor. The fleet shifted to defensive lattices, shields flickering in synchronized pulses. Pride and sorrow intertwined. Humanity had learned that patience and vigilance were as deadly as firepower. I traced probable ambush points, calculating interception vectors with cold precision. Captain Rin's fingers danced over the tactical console. "We'll flush them out." Cloaked drones slipped between asteroids and wreckage, scanning every shadow. Humanity's vengeance became a tide of calculated pressure, a reminder that Earth's fleet was the largest in the galaxy for a reason. Beneath, the planet shimmered under protective lattices, a silent witness to every maneuver. Betrayal would find no sanctuary here, no hand hidden in shadow, no strategy beyond our reach. Intercepted transmissions revealed another layer of deception, an alliance with distant warlords. "Admiral, they've formed a coalition. Coordinated attacks expected within days," Ensign Tal warned. The fleet shifted, deploying decoy satellites and automated defense grids. Pride surged, tempered with sorrow. Centuries of lost colonies and broken promises had forged humanity into a weapon of vigilance. Every maneuver, every strike, would anticipate the next layer of treachery. Captain Rin studied the holographic tactical display. "We'll sever their lines before they can act." I nodded, heart cold with determination. Drones and interceptor waves fanned out like a net, scanning for enemy coordination. Across the void, resonating with human resolve, Earth remained untouched below, protected by our foresight and steel. Betrayal was a shadow from the past. Now, humanity's vengeance reached into the present, deliberate and unflinching. The enemy attempted a preemptive strike, cloaked vessels cutting through the void toward Earth. Torpedoes and plasma grids intercepted their advance. I barked orders, each command precise, every shield modulation calculated. Pride flared as every ship responded flawlessly. Sorrow lingered, memories of past losses sharpening every decision. Humanity would not repeat history. Captain Rin guided interceptor waves with surgical precision. "They'll learn quickly. Earth isn't a prize to be stolen." I focused on predictive analytics, calculating their maneuvers before they even attempted them. Humanity's vengeance struck in perfect synchronization. Below, Earth pulsed beneath shields, resilient and untouchable. Betrayal had once cost us centuries. Today, it would meet steel, fire, and unyielding resolve. The remnants of the hidden Armada retreated beyond sensor range. The fleet stabilized, shield matrices humming in quiet anticipation. Pride mingled with sorrow. Each victory bore the weight of lost allies and destroyed colonies. I surveyed the tactical displays. Every blip a reminder that the war was far from over. Humanity's vengeance required patience as well as firepower. Captain Rin rested her hands lightly on the console. They'll return, but so will we. I allowed myself a brief exhale, the cold weight of history pressing against every decision. Softly in the background, a heartbeat of unyielding resolve. Earth lay shielded, patient, a silent witness to humanity's promise. Betrayal would never touch our home again, and vengeance was only beginning. The galaxy would remember the return of the human fleet. Long-range sensors detected unfamiliar fleets massing beyond the outer rim. "Admiral, they're consolidating, preparing something larger," Lieutenant Kor warned. I ordered fleet-wide defensive sweeps, shields pulsing with electromagnetic resonance. Pride surged. Humanity had rebuilt its strength, but sorrow lingered, a reminder of centuries lost to betrayal and unpreparedness. Every starboard and port vector was recalculated, anticipating the enemy's first move. Captain Rin traced the data on her console. "They think we're scattered. They underestimate our cohesion." I nodded, voice iron cold. "Let them approach. The closer they come, the heavier the net." Cloaked drones streamed ahead, probing, analyzing, mapping enemy formations. A symphony of steel and fire. Earth pulsed beneath protective shields, untouched yet vigilant. Humanity's vengeance would strike with surgical precision, ensuring no hand would ever betray us again. The Outer Rim fleet feinted, sending decoy signals across the void. "Admiral, they're baiting us into a trap," Ensign Tall warned. I pivoted the fleet, shields flaring with calculated rhythm. Pride burned. History had taught humanity that deception was the weapon of the desperate. Sorrow lingered beneath resolve, sharpening every tactical choice. Captain Rin's hands flew across the console. "We'll turn their feint against them." Drones slipped through asteroid fields, mapping every shadow, predicting every maneuver. In synchronized arcs, torpedoes and plasma volleys streaking into position. Earth shimmered below, silent and resilient. Humanity's vengeance was deliberate, unyielding, and ironclad. Betrayal would find no purchase here. Every move of the enemy would be met with fire, steel, and calculated resolve. The enemy flagship twisted in the void, engines roaring in defiance as it launched a barrage of plasma waves. I barked orders with precise timing. All firepower on their shields, interceptors to flank. Pride surged, tempered by sorrow, the memory of lost colonies sharpening every command. Humanity's vengeance required both patience and ruthlessness. Captain Rin's fingers danced over the console, guiding drones through debris and plasma storms. As missiles streaked across the void, shields flickered under relentless assault. Earth remained safe below, untouchable behind magnetic and plasma lattices. I whispered to the planet beneath us, "We will not falter. Betrayal has forged us, but it will never touch you again." The fleet moved as one, a living testament to human resolve. Explosions tore through the hidden Armada, engines roaring as vessels twisted and shields collapsed. I coordinated every strike with surgical precision, tracing each vector on the tactical display. Pride and sorrow intertwined. Centuries of loss and betrayal had honed humanity into a weapon of ruthless efficiency. "Maintain formation. Pursue all retreating vessels," I commanded. Captain Rin guided interceptors through the chaos, voice calm, eyes sharp, as torpedoes and laser volleys carved lethal paths. Earth shimmered below, silent yet alive, witnessing humanity's vengeance manifest in fire, strategy, and precision. Betrayal had shaped us, but it would never break us again. Every vessel was a promise, every maneuver a reminder. The human fleet defends, avenges, and endures. The remnants of the alien coalition attempted to regroup, engines roaring in frantic bursts. I surveyed tactical displays, calculating every angle, every trajectory, every vulnerable cluster. Pride surged, sorrow lingered. Every victory bore the memory of centuries lost to deception and betrayal. "Strike with precision, no mercy for those who threaten Earth," I ordered. Captain Rin's hands moved with deliberate speed across the consoles. As interceptors, drones, and torpedoes converged on the enemy, cutting off escape routes. Earth remained untouched below, shielded and vigilant. Humanity's vengeance was deliberate and absolute. I whispered to the silent planet, "We have returned. Betrayal will never touch this world again." The fleet pulsed with life, a living monument to human resolve and ironclad promise. The enemy fleet consolidated near the asteroid belt, engines roaring as they prepared their assault. I surveyed the tactical displays, every line of data a map of vengeance and calculation. Pride surged, tempered with sorrow. Every vessel carried centuries of memory, of betrayal survived, of promises forged in steel. "Deploy magnetic snares and plasma nets," I commanded. The fleet responded instantly, engines humming in deadly synchronization. Captain Rin's eyes flicked over vectors, tracing enemy maneuvers. "We'll channel them into our traps," she said, voice steady. Drones flitted through debris fields, intercepting and mapping with relentless precision. Earth shimmered beneath protective lattices, silent yet alive, as humanity's vengeance began to constrict around the approaching enemy. Betrayal had once cost us everything, but now it would find only fire and steel. Encrypted signals revealed hidden alliances within the alien fleets. "Admiral, they're coordinating with unknown warlords beyond our sensors," Ensign Tal warned. I adjusted the fleet's formation, shields pulsing in readiness. Pride and sorrow intertwined. Every betrayal from the past had sharpened our vigilance. We would not be caught unprepared. Captain Rin tapped rapidly across the console. "We'll intercept their lines before they act." Cloaked drones streamed into the void, scanning, mapping, predicting. Humanity's vengeance transformed into a net, closing around the enemy's hidden contingents. Earth lay silent beneath protective lattices, untouchable yet a witness. Betrayal would meet no sanctuary, only the calculated wrath of the human fleet. Plasma grids erupted. Interceptors streaked across the void, and in concert. I coordinated every strike, tracing vectors and shield harmonics with surgical precision. Pride burned. Sorrow lingered like smoke. The memory of fallen colonies sharpened every order. Humanity's vengeance was both patient and merciless. Captain Rin guided drones through the chaos. Eyes sharp, voice calm. Torpedoes cut lethal paths, shields flickering under concentrated fire. Earth shimmered below, shielded and untouchable. I whispered to the planet beneath us, "We will not falter. Betrayal has forged us, but it will never touch you again." The fleet moved as one, a storm of steel, fire, and unyielding resolve. The enemy's flagship attempted to retreat, engines roaring in desperation. I ordered precise intercepts, flank their left and right quadrants, cut all exits. Pride surged. Every maneuver was a testament to human ingenuity and the hard lessons of betrayal. Sorrow lingered beneath the thrill. Centuries of loss had honed our vengeance into perfect precision. Captain Rin's hands moved with unerring speed across the consoles. Drones, torpedoes, and plasma volleys converged, engines roaring in harmony. Earth lay beneath protective shields, silent yet aware. "They will remember this," Rin murmured. I allowed a brief nod, heart cold with resolve. Betrayal had once defined us. Now, vengeance did. Every vessel in the fleet pulsed with purpose, a living monument to humanity's enduring will. Explosions tore through the enemy armada, engines roaring as shields collapsed and vessels twisted under relentless assault. I coordinated every strike, tracing vectors, timing volleys, ensuring no chance for escape. Pride and sorrow interwove. Centuries of loss and betrayal had honed humanity into a weapon of precise retribution. "Push them into the gravity wells. End their advance," I commanded. Captain Rin guided interceptors with unflinching skill. The remaining vessels were corralled, torpedoes streaking across the void like bolts of judgment. Earth shimmered below, untouched, resilient. I whispered to the silent planet, "We have returned. Betrayal will never touch this world again." Humanity's vengeance had manifested. Fire, steel, and unyielding resolve pulsing across the galaxy, a living testament to the fleet that would defend Earth at any cost. Long-range sensors detected fragmented alien vessels escaping into uncharted sectors. "Admiral, they're regrouping," Lieutenant Corps reported. I adjusted our formation, deploying drones to track and contain. Pride surged. Humanity's fleet was the largest and most precise in the galaxy, but sorrow lingered. Each victory carried echoes of past betrayals. Every decision was weighed against centuries of history. Each maneuver a promise that Earth would never fall again. Captain Rin tapped across the console. "We'll anticipate their regroup, cut off every route." Cloaked drones streamed forward, mapping asteroid fields and warp corridors. Humanity's vengeance became a tightening noose. Earth shimmered beneath protective lattices, resilient and silent. Betrayal had once broken us, but now every trace of deception would meet fire, steel, and relentless resolve. Enemy vessels attempted a counter-assault, engines roaring as plasma waves tore through space. I barked orders, each shield modulation, each interceptor deployment precise and unerring. Pride burned in the intensity of coordinated destruction. Sorrow lingered as the memory of centuries lost sharpened every command. Humanity's vengeance was patient, exacting, and inevitable. Captain Rin guided drones and torpedoes through debris and plasma storms. Eyes sharp, voice calm, as missiles struck with surgical precision. Earth glimmered below, shielded and untouchable, a silent witness to human resolve. I murmured to the planet beneath us, "We will not falter. Betrayal has forged us, but it will never touch you again." The fleet moved as one, a storm of steel and fire across the void. Signals from distant quadrants revealed additional alien reinforcements converging on the system. "Admiral, they've summoned allies from the outer reaches," Ensign Tal warned. I pivoted the fleet, adjusting shields and deployment grids. Pride surged. Humanity had anticipated betrayal, but never underestimated the audacity of enemies united. Sorrow lingered beneath the thrill. Every strategy carried the weight of lost colonies and centuries of vigilance. Captain Rin's fingers flew across the holographic consoles. "We'll intercept before they consolidate." Drones streamed forward, probing for hidden corridors, plotting every trajectory. In unison, the human fleet became a living weapon of retribution. Earth lay beneath protective lattices, silent yet alive. Every movement was deliberate. Betrayal would find no refuge, only fire, steel, and calculated vengeance. Plasma grids erupted, interceptors streaked, and as the alien convergence slammed into our defensive perimeter. I coordinated every strike, timing volleys with surgical precision. Pride burned, sorrow lingered, memory of centuries lost sharpening each decision. Humanity's vengeance was not reckless. It was deliberate, perfected over the history of betrayal endured. Captain Rin guided drones and torpedoes through chaotic waves of plasma, eyes unwavering. Every alien vessel faced relentless, coordinated assault. Below, Earth shimmered under protective lattices, untouched yet aware. I whispered to the planet beneath us, "We have returned. Betrayal will never touch this world again." Humanity's vengeance pulsed across the void. Steel, fire, and unyielding resolve moving as one. The alien flagship faltered under precise volleys, engines roaring in faltering bursts. I ordered concentrated strikes. Target command cores. Disable every maneuver node. Pride surged as shields flickered and hulls cracked under coordinated fire. Sorrow lingered as memories of past losses sharpened every calculation. Humanity's vengeance required patience, ruthlessness, and unbroken focus. Captain Rin's hands moved swiftly, deploying interceptors and plasma volleys with surgical accuracy, converging on the faltering enemy fleet. Earth glimmered below, silent and shielded, a witness to vengeance perfected. I whispered to the planet, "We have returned. Betrayal will never touch this world again." The fleet pulsed as a living testament to human resolve, steel, and fire. Earth's warhead of vengeance had solidified, and the galaxy would remember. The enemy had consolidated near the outer rim, engines roaring as their flagship led dozens of cloaked vessels. I traced every vector on the tactical display, calculating intercepts and shield harmonics. Pride surged, tempered by sorrow. Every victory bore the memory of lost allies and betrayed colonies. "Deploy full plasma grids and magnetic traps. Seal their corridors," I ordered. Across the void, a symphony of fire and steel. Captain Rin's fingers danced across the console. Drones fanned out, probing, mapping, predicting every move. Humanity's vengeance tightened like a noose around the enemy. Earth shimmered beneath protective lattices, silent yet alive. Betrayal would find no refuge. Every maneuver, every strike was deliberate, precise, and absolute. A promise that humanity would never be caught unprepared again. Explosions flared across the void, engines roaring as plasma tore through alien hulls. I coordinated volleys with surgical precision, shields pulsing to absorb counterfire. Pride burned. Centuries of vigilance, preparation, and memory had forged this moment. Sorrow lingered beneath the thrill, reminders of the sacrifices that shaped humanity's fleet. "Target their command clusters simultaneously," I ordered. Captain Rin guided interceptors through the chaos, eyes sharp, voice calm. As torpedoes carved lethal paths, shields shuddered under concentrated fire. Earth shimmered below, untouched, resilient. I whispered to the planet beneath us, "We will not falter. Betrayal has forged us, but it will never touch you again." Humanity's vengeance moved as one, a storm of steel and fire that would echo across the galaxy. Enemy reinforcements emerged from distant quadrants, engines roaring in chaotic bursts. "Admiral, they've summoned allies from beyond our sensors," Ensign Tall warned. I pivoted the fleet, adjusting shields and deployment grids. Pride surged. Humanity had anticipated betrayal, yet the audacity of united enemies demanded focus. Sorrow lingered beneath the thrill. Every strategy carried the weight of lost colonies and centuries of vigilance. Captain Rin's fingers moved swiftly across consoles. Drones streamed into the void, scanning and mapping every hidden corridor, plotting every trajectory. Humanity's vengeance became an inescapable net. Earth lay silent beneath protective lattices, untouchable yet alive. Every maneuver was deliberate. Betrayal would find no refuge, only fire, steel, and calculated retribution. The converging fleets slammed into our defensive perimeter, engines roaring as plasma waves tore across space. I coordinated every strike, timing volleys with surgical precision. Pride burned, sorrow lingered, sharpened by the memory of centuries lost. Humanity's vengeance was deliberate, perfected over the history of betrayal endured. Captain Rin guided drones and torpedoes through chaos, eyes unwavering. Every alien vessel faced relentless, coordinated assault. Below, Earth shimmered under protective lattices, untouched yet aware. I whispered to the planet beneath us, "We have returned. Betrayal will never touch this world again." Humanity's vengeance pulsed across the void. Steel, fire, and unyielding resolve moving as one. The enemy flagship faltered, engines roaring in faltering bursts. I ordered concentrated strikes. Target command cores. Disable every maneuver node. Pride surged as shields flickered and hulls cracked under coordinated fire. Sorrow lingered as memories of past losses sharpened every calculation. Humanity's vengeance required patience, ruthlessness, and unbroken focus. Captain Rin deployed interceptors and plasma volleys with surgical accuracy, converging on the faltering enemy fleet. Earth glimmered below, silent and shielded, a witness to vengeance perfected. I whispered to the planet, "We have returned. Betrayal will never touch this world again." The fleet pulsed as a living monument to human resolve, steel, and fire. Earth's warhead of vengeance had solidified, and the galaxy would remember. Sensors picked up anomalous activity deep within the alien fleet. "Admiral, there's a mole. Transmitting coordinates," Ensign Tall warned. I ordered full counter-intrusion protocols, tracing every signature, every signal. Pride burned cold. History had taught humanity the cost of unseen betrayal. Sorrow lingered, sharpening every calculation. Humanity's vengeance demanded absolute vigilance. Captain Rin's hands flew across the consoles, deploying hunter drones into hidden networks. "We'll root them out before they act," she said. The fleet pulsed with precise coordination. Earth shimmered beneath protective shields, silent yet alive. Every trace of deception would meet fire, steel, and unyielding resolve. Betrayal would find no sanctuary. Our vengeance was absolute. The alien flagship launched a sudden assault, engines roaring, plasma flares streaking across the void. I barked orders, every shield modulation and torpedo launch precise. Pride surged. Humanity's fleet was unmatched, forged by centuries of vigilance. Sorrow lingered. The memory of fallen colonies sharpened every maneuver. "Lock all grids. Counter every vector," I commanded. Captain Rin guided interceptors through the chaos. Eyes sharp, voice calm. Plasma volleys intersected alien maneuvers. Earth lay beneath protective lattices, untouchable yet aware. I whispered to the planet below, "We will not falter. Betrayal has forged us, but it will never touch you again." Humanity's vengeance manifested as fire, steel, and unyielding resolve. Alien reinforcements converged from multiple quadrants, engines roaring as their warships twisted through the void. "Admiral, they're attempting full encirclement," Lieutenant Corps warned. I adjusted fleet formations, deploying plasma nets and magnetic snares. Pride and sorrow intertwined. Centuries of betrayal had honed humanity into a weapon of precision. Every maneuver, every strike, was deliberate. Captain Rin's fingers danced across holographic consoles. "We'll turn their encirclement into their undoing." Cloaked drones streamed forward, intercepting and mapping enemy trajectories. Humanity's vengeance became an inescapable net. Earth shimmered below, shielded and patient. Betrayal would meet no refuge, only fire, steel, and calculated judgment. The enemy flagship quivered under precise volleys, engines roaring in faltering bursts. I ordered concentrated strikes. Disable command nodes. Sever their coordination. Pride surged as shields flickered, hulls cracked, and chaos rippled through the alien fleet. Sorrow lingered. Memories of centuries lost sharpening every calculation. Humanity's vengeance required patience, ruthlessness, and iron discipline. Captain Rin guided interceptor waves and torpedoes with surgical skill, converging on the crumbling flagship. Earth glimmered below, silent and untouchable, a witness to retribution perfected. I whispered to the planet, "We have returned. Betrayal will never touch this world again." The fleet pulsed as a monument to human resolve, steel, and fire. Earth's warhead of vengeance had become undeniable. Remaining alien vessels attempted desperate retreats, engines roaring in chaos. I coordinated every strike, tracing vectors, timing volleys, ensuring no escape. Pride burned as shields and hulls faltered under precise fire. Sorrow lingered, memories of the fallen guiding every command. Humanity's vengeance demanded perfection. Captain Rin's hands moved with calculated speed, deploying interceptors and plasma volleys across the void. converging on every fleeing vessel. Earth shimmered below, protected and vigilant. I whispered to the planet, "We have reclaimed you. Betrayal will never touch this world again." Humanity's vengeance moved as one, a living storm of steel, fire, and unyielding resolve echoing across the galaxy. The enemy made their final desperate stand, engines roaring as plasma flares lit the void. I coordinated every strike, shields pulsing, torpedoes and interceptors slicing paths through the chaos. Pride surged. Humanity's fleet was precise, relentless, unstoppable. Sorrow lingered, a shadow of centuries lost, sharpening every decision. "No mercy. End this now," I ordered. Captain Rin's hands danced across the consoles, guiding drones and volleys with unerring skill. In unison, converging on the enemy's remaining vessels. Earth shimmered beneath her protective lattices, untouched and vigilant. Betrayal would meet no refuge. Humanity's vengeance was absolute. Every movement, every strike, was a promise forged in fire and steel. Scanners revealed fractures within the alien coalition, long-suppressed rivalries surfacing as defeat loomed. "Admiral, they're turning on each other," Ensign Tall reported. I adjusted the fleet, exploiting every weakness. Pride burned. Humanity's vigilance had turned their unity to chaos. Sorrow lingered beneath the satisfaction, a reminder of the cost of betrayal and history's lessons. Captain Rin tapped across consoles, directing interceptors toward collapsing sectors. As drones intercepted fleeing factions, Earth pulsed beneath protective shields, silent and resolute. Betrayal had once been humanity's curse. Now it was the enemy's undoing. Humanity's vengeance moved like a steel tide, precise, unyielding, and inevitable. The flagship of the alien coalition faltered, engines roaring in chaotic bursts. I coordinated volleys with surgical precision. Target command clusters. Severe coordination. Pride surged as shields flickered and hulls crumpled. Sorrow lingered, guiding every calculation. Humanity's vengeance demanded total control. Every maneuver deliberate, every strike absolute. Captain Rin guided interceptors and plasma volleys with relentless skill. The fleet closed in on the last enemy vessels. Earth shimmered below, untouched, a silent witness to retribution perfected. I whispered to the planet, "We have returned. Betrayal will never touch this world again." Humanity's vengeance manifested in fire, steel, and unyielding resolve. Enemy vessels dissolved into debris, engines roaring in failing bursts. I surveyed tactical displays, every pulse a reminder of centuries lost and reclaimed. Pride and sorrow intertwined. Every sacrifice, every betrayal endured had forged this moment. "Confirm all sectors secured," I ordered. Humanity's vengeance had reached its apex, precise and absolute. Captain Rin's eyes swept the fleet. Softly as drones patrolled and intercepted residual threats. Earth lay shielded beneath protective lattices, silent yet alive. I whispered, "We have reclaimed you. Betrayal will never touch this world again." The fleet pulsed as a monument to human resolve, unbroken and eternal, a living testament that humanity's vengeance was complete. The void fell silent, save for the hum of engines and shields. I gazed down at Earth, oceans shimmering beneath unbroken lattices. Pride and sorrow merged. The homeworld had been reclaimed, defended, and elevated into the Galactic War seat. Betrayal had once defined our history, but now humanity defined the stars. "We have returned," I murmured, voice resonating across the command bridge. Captain Rin placed a steady hand on the console. Softly, a heartbeat of vigilance. Earth pulsed beneath her shields, untouchable and eternal. Humanity's vengeance was complete, precise, unyielding, and immortal. The galaxy would remember the rise of the human fleet, the homeworld protected by fire, steel, and iron resolve. betrayal would never touch this world again. Earth had become the ultimate seat of power, vengeance, and destiny. The end. Thank you for watching AstroMyths. If you enjoyed this story, smash that like button and subscribe for more epic sci-fi tales, cosmic mysteries, and mind-bending myths. And if you like this story, or have a myth, mystery, or galaxy you'd like us to explore, drop your ideas in the comments. We're always listening. Until next time, keep your eyes on the stars and your mind open to the unknown.